and gentlemen. Welcome to the 7-Figure Fashion Business Podcast,
where we talk about the fashion industry and how to get your fashion business to 7 figures.
From manufacturing strategies, cut and sew designers, to fashion hot topics and the latest fashion trends, I'm your host, Monica Monique.
And I'm your host, XYZeee. And let's jump into today's episode.
Morning, afternoon, evening.
What's up?
Nothing much. Reading any good books lately?
I'm reading the same book. I've been reading the Bible and The Power of a Humble Life. Remember earlier when you was talking about the whole world is focused on money? And I was talking about like the difference between the two pastors.
Mm-hmm.
There's one pastor that like, I'm still reading The Power of a Humble Life in the Bible.
Okay.
And then earlier, remember earlier you was talking about how the whole world is like money driven and it's not always about money.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was talking about the two pastors, how I noticed the difference between a pastor that don't preach about money, but they really preach about life. But there's another pastor that he'll sell you like a dream and like, oh, God gonna send you money, and then like he dress like he look like money, and I just tell the difference between the two pastors. Like one is not money driven. Yeah. And then in the book, they talk about how people get money and they change. Mm-hmm. They turn into like not humble, evil. They want to impress everybody, and as long as we're not on the same level, as long as I don't have the same thing as you, then like you're okay with it.
You said that's how
not you.
No,
that's how people are.
How people are. Okay,
that's what the book says. The book says like they want you around as long as you're not doing better than them.
Mm-hmm. Right.
But as soon as you like start to get into your element, like it disrupts people.
Yeah. I actually posted something yesterday on Instagram. I had reposted this guy. He said, "You think having a lot of friends is a good thing. And it's actually a really bad thing. That just means you're accepting anybody and any energy into your life." Mm-hmm. He said, the more you better yourself, it should eliminate people out your life. Because not everybody should be able to connect to you. Mm-hmm. So you think it's a popularity contest. Oh, you got 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 best friends. Mm-hmm. But really, that says a lot about the characters and people and the energy that you allow into your space. Mm-hmm. Because when you get to a certain level, a lot of those people will fall off. Mm-hmm. And you'll only have a few left of good character, good morals, and stuff like so. Bettering yourself is a process of elimination for the people around you.
Yeah. That's the phase I'm going through right now. Mm-hmm. Well, I've been going through that phase probably like 2 years. Yeah, and I noticed that on my own through like experience, and then I finally read it. I forget where I read it at, but once I read it, it made me feel better for not like having like a lot of friends. Yeah. One time, this girl, I hate her. I don't hate her.
Hate is a strong word. Yeah. We don't say hate.
Yeah, I can't say it. But me and her was best friends, and the more and more I'm getting to know her, she's a terrible person. Mm-hmm. So her birthday came about, and everybody like, oh, like happy birthday, I love you. Mm-hmm. Sending her like great messages. And I was like, okay, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm like a bad person because it's all these people that love this girl. So maybe like I was wrong in this situation. Like, and then my birthday came about and I had like real people around me, like real happy birthdays. Like nothing was fake. Like, right. And then I seen that post and I was like, oh, okay, she has a million friends because she has a million personalities. Like,
a million personalities.
She has a million fake things, and like she acts like whoever she's around. So if she's hanging around with her like bossy mean friends, like she'll act like a bossy mean girl, right? And if she's hanging around like her successful friends, her church friends, she's so proper and she got all these different personalities. I'm like she fits in, like she also she fits in anywhere. Mm-hmm. So I get why you have so many friends because you're a fake, like you're just a fake human.
Right.
And I was like, okay, I realized it. And then I read it, and then you said it. So.
Yeah. There was also something. I think I took a screenshot of it. What did it say? I think it said, I must be humble. It was about being humble. Give me a second. Where's my screenshots? It says, my biggest flex is that I don't flex at all because I could, but the humble don't stumble.
Being humble is.
And I think that was a bar. Like, my biggest flex is that I don't flex. I don't drive a fancy car. I don't have a fancy apartment. I don't always try to look perfect. I don't care about my purse, matching my shoe, or having the hottest thing on. Like, my biggest flex is that I don't flex. I could, but I literally don't. I don't have it in me. It's not my personality. So I think that's a flex.
Yeah, it's not my personality either. You're the only person.
I think it is.
It's my personality.
I think when you flex. No, I think when you get money, you're gonna start showing off, showing out, flexing.
I cannot believe you know what conversation we have this conversation all the time. We be like, what would you do with $1 million? You know, I never talk about flexing or anything.
No, you're not gonna talk about flexing, but I think you will be the one that shows up with the Birkin.
Oh, of course.
See.
But not to flex it, because I want to be a fashion icon.
Right.
It would be for business purposes it would be to build my brand. It wouldn't be to
yelling. I'm turning down your microphone.
It wouldn't be to I wouldn't even, if I'm sitting in a regular situation, I wouldn't pull up with a Birkin. I would have a Birkin for like business or like
I think you would pull up with your Louis Vuitton or your Gucci or your.
I'm offended.
I think you would flex.
I'm so offended. I think you would. I think you would flex.
You already. I don't flex now.
What would you do with $1 million? If you just woke up,
I would reinvest it into my company.
If you woke up,
what is it? $1 million is nothing to me. I'm not far from $1 million.
$1 billion.
$1 billion? I probably would.
What would you do?
$1 billion? I would start several companies, open several schools, have several museums with my name on it.
Okay.
Like,
and that sounds a lot like what I would do.
Institutions. I would open institutions.
That sounds a lot like what I would do. I wouldn't go buy a Birkin.
You just said you gonna have a Birkin
for. If I'm trying to be a fashion
I'm saying I would start those before I buy a Birkin.
I'm trying to be a fashion icon, so of course I'm gonna dibble and dab in everybody's brand and where everybody's brand.
I plan on doing that too. I mean, I do it now. I think that the flex part is like,
I would flex for Instagram. I would take a picture and take that.
I hope Instagram die
and take. I would literally get dressed, take a picture, and take it off. And go back to my like sweatsuits.
But you can go to a store and take a picture with an expensive bag and
my all black sweatsuits and then.
But you can do that now. Just go to the Louis Vuitton store, go to the Dolce & Gabbana store, go to the Mischief store, take a picture with the bag.
I'm not doing that.
If it's just for Instagram, what does it matter? I don't know.
My money is going into investing. And not flexing.
I plan on investing in my own company though, not necessarily stocks. So I will have stocks in the 401k and all that Roth IRA and all of the big things. But reinvest in my companies. Franchise. Open a McDonald's. Not a McDonald's, because maybe a Chipotle.
What did I Google the other day? I said they need to put a Waffle House down here. Do you know on Baltimore Pike? You know, do you ever drive on Baltimore Pike?
No. I'm trying to think of where their area even is.
Okay, so it's on Baltimore Pike, but it's this building on Baltimore Pike. It's huge. They put up there. They put like something called like Flappy Jacks or something there, but every location there always goes out of business. So
is that Baltimore Pike or are you talking about City Line?
Baltimore Pike.
Okay, because there's a place on City Line where they put those same businesses and they always go out of business too.
But I think Wendy's just got closed down. Five Guys got closed down right there. So I was like, if they put a Waffle House right here, it would
also get closed down.
I think it would be good because there's no Waffle House around here.
Right.
But, and then I Googled how to franchise a business.
It's not hard.
That's actually smart to franchise.
For sure. I mean, I don't know how much it is to franchise a McDonald's or anything now, but a couple years ago, maybe 10 years ago, when there was this TV show and they were talking about franchising, they said it's $250K to franchise a McDonald's or whatever. And I'm like, $250K is less than buying a house right now. You could buy a franchise and have money coming in every day for the rest of your life, and then buy a house a year later with that same, with the money from that business, versus buying a house, then you have a house, with no reoccurring money coming in, you know? So I was like, maybe that's a smarter whatever, but back to the fashion topic. What is our fashion topic of the day? We be rambling, y'all. Though it is important to stay humble.
Yeah, stay humble. In all of this, I prayed, like, God, when you give me these blessings, please, I do it the right way.
Yes.
Please.
But I also would like to mention, before we get into our fashion topic, how when I ask her, what books did you read this weekend? She tell me and all this stuff go on. She don't never return and ask me what books I read. But the only reason why I ask her so she can ask me is so funny.
I'm sorry.
She never does.
We be getting into, like, deep conversation. I do notice that, too. Like, later on in my day. Later on during my day, it'd be like 5 hours later. I'd be like, dang, I did not ask her.
Because you don't care
about our day. What books are you reading? We be deep in the conversation. Then when you ask me, I'd be so like,
Right. Let me tell you what book I'm reading, you guys. What is it called? Britney Spears, The Woman in Me. Because I be trying to take a break from all the business books sometimes. So right now I'm listening to the audiobook of Britney Spears, The Woman in Me. Oh my God, it's so good. I love learning about these people's lives. And then I went to check on Britney the other day on her Instagram. And it was all questionable. And I could understand, given what she talked about in the book, in the history in her book, and everything she went through as a child. Losing your childhood trying to become a star is like...
I could imagine.
So then you grow up and you're still a child.
Wow.
And then, like, people still treat you like a dog. She said there was an interview where she was like 9 or something, and one of these night shows was like, so do you have a boyfriend? And she was like, no, I don't have a boyfriend. And he was like, are you still a virgin? Like, she's 9. What are you asking?
Oh my God. At 9 years old?
Child, like, yeah. And then, like, there was other interviews where she was 13 and 14 and 16 and 17, and it was just like, are your boobs fake? Like, she just got breasts. Why are you asking this 17-year-old if she has a boob job, or like if she's still a virgin, or if she's doing this behind the scenes, or who are you sleeping with these days? Like, can she be a child? Like, meanwhile, she does have songs and videos that might imply suggestive things or whatever, but she never outwardly said anything about sex in these songs. It's just that people look at her and they see sexy, which you can't control if you're a beautiful girl. Like, so what?
So she started off as a singer?
Yeah, she was in the Mickey Mouse Club with Justin Timberlake and Christina Aguilera on the Disney Channel. Disney. But yeah, and she started interviewing at like 7 years old to be on TV. But also one thing she mentioned, and maybe we'll have to go over like a Britney Spears fashion thing, but she mentioned that she had suggested that Justin Timberlake wear that denim outfit to match her denim outfit as a joke, but then he actually showed up in a denim outfit. So then they came to the MTV Awards with these two matching denim outfits, and everybody just thought it was so hilarious, but then it became like a fashion moment. And she's had a lot of fashion moments. I also just watched the video of her performing with Michael Jackson, and she wore this beautiful little green dress, and I'm like, I want to look up who this dress is by, because it's just so cute. And she was 19 years old beautiful voice singing with Michael Jackson. Wow. And this gorgeous dress. I think it might have been Versace, but I'm not sure. But I know she said she had a relationship with Donatella Versace at the time. And a relationship as in like she was the person who was sending her a lot of gowns and stuff at the time. But her fashion, her looks were looks.
I think I remember.
Her style was really on. So
that would be cool.
Yeah, I think we should.
Yeah.
Do something on Brittany. It's Brittany blank. I don't curse, you know. It's Brittany blank.
Oh my god. You cursed earlier.
It's Brittany female dog. Ooh. That's what it said in the song. No. But the book is really good, and as she's talking about all these different things that happened in history, like her asking Madonna to be on a song with her, then it's making me want to go back and listen to this Britney Spears and Madonna song. So I used to love Britney Spears. I used to have this video game where it's like you could be Britney Spears and do the dances. Yeah, but it's a shame because life spiraled and. Yeah, paparazzi kept harassing her. She said it was always 10, 20 cars outside her house. She would look out her window to see if it was okay to go outside today. And it was always people parked up trying to take pictures of her. After she had just had her babies, they were like, "Oh, when are you going to lose the weight?" And then it was just a lot. It seemed just too much for a young person to go through. Yeah. Or a person in general, because even as she grew up, she still felt like a teenager because she never got those years.
People was laughing at her. On how she carries herself on Instagram. But I get it.
Yeah, I get it.
I get it now.
I think she's really just trying to find who she is as a
I can see that.
Adult.
I can see that.
Having never really lived a childhood. I think she looks like an adult who's trying to live a childhood.
Crisis. When you got so many different personalities coming in and tell you which identity is a big players.
Right. Yeah. So, but the book is really good. It's read by Michelle Williams, who is this white actress who's been in a lot of great movies. She was reading the audiobook really well as well. So, really good book.
That's good to hear.
Yeah.
That you didn't read a business book.
Right? I've been needing a break sometimes.
I started about an Elon Musk book.
Oh, God. Okay.
But it wasn't about business. It was about his life, so I was just put it back. But
that's because you don't care.
That's good to read a book about somebody's life story. There'll be lessons in it, too.
There's for sure lessons in it. Like my child will never be a child star. Like, for sure, I am learning this.
He's a richest man in the world, and he's autistic.
Yeah, most autistic people are brilliant.
Brilliant, yeah.
Because their way of computing and thinking about things is really different. And they're usually really good at math and science. Yeah.
I'll read it one day.
One day. What is our fashion topic? Do we have one? Child.
Be humble and don't.
Is that the topic?
Identity crisis. That's the subtopic.
Subtopic.
But the topic is, I guess, men fashion designers, women in fashion,
or women's clothing in general being controlled by men. So I was reading this book. So this came from the last book that I was reading, actually, where it was called, what was it called? Dress Code by Veronique something. And in that book, she had mentioned that women's rebellion came in the form of pants and pockets. And I'm just like, women's rebellion came in the form of pants and pockets? And then she goes into how in all these hundreds of centuries of Earth and women and humans existing, women were supposed to be wearing dresses and skirts, and not until the early 1900s did women start wearing pants. And the reason that it initially started, one person's story is when men started going for war, like men were getting drafted. I don't know if that was World War I or World War II. I think maybe World War I. Either way, when they were all fighting the war, women had to take over some of their factory jobs, which means they had to start wearing pants and factory clothing in order to be safe during the job. And then when they got back from war, they felt that it was more comfortable at times to wear pants than to wear skirts and dresses all the time. Now, another route to take kind of with history is just in general, women started wearing pants, liking their partner's clothing or their brother's clothing or their dad's clothing. And then over time, men just started to, because most men were fashion designers, men started to design pants specifically for women. Even that came with some form of rebellion because men didn't want women wearing pants. You know, that's a saying. It's like men wear the pants in a relationship.
Yeah.
So that's literal, quite literal, actually, because they didn't want women to wear pants. And then on top of that, as men were most of the fashion designers, not just in the U.S., all over the world, because men were also known to be more creative, more innovative, more better thinkers, and all those. So they were just the men in every industry. Men are the leaders, are the bosses, and that even exists in women's clothing and women's fashion.
A lot of women say they'll rather have a man as a boss, as their leader or their manager, anyways.
Really? I don't feel that way.
I hear it a lot.
From where?
I don't think that. I don't care who my boss is, who my manager is, and I've worked for a lot of men. And I would definitely prefer a woman.
Yeah. I've had men as bosses. It was always fine, I guess, except for that one sexual harassment thing. But the other male bosses that I've had, like when I worked at Macy's for 4 years, was just kind, decent humans. No real difference, but I didn't prefer them over women bosses. There was no real difference. A good manager was always a good manager, to me. But going back to the fashion design part, even coming down to pockets and women having pockets in their clothing, this also was a thing, apparently, to keep the woman down. Can't give a girl pockets because she doesn't need to hold anything. They didn't want to. They also literally, but they said because women have purses, they don't need pockets. But also, they didn't want to ruin the silhouette of the dress and take away from a woman's shape in order to give her pockets. So that's why a lot of the times you'll find fake pockets in women's clothing. Even to this day, it's hard. To this day, you can't find.
And I didn't notice it until you said it.
Yeah. Pockets, apparently, they're still withholding pockets from us. But how do you feel about women? Well, the theory that men are more creative in women's fashion design.
I think I said it in maybe episode 3. It was in our very, very, very beginning. I said that men dominate the fashion world for some reason. And not even just the fashion world, like they come in and they do everything better than us. They do hair better than us. The nail salon I go to, the nail tech, everybody rather him do their nails. There's a lot of men fashion designers. And men are talented. So I think I brought it up in that episode. But I feel like the men's fashion is so boring that I think that it's easier for men to put their creativity in women's fashion because it's more daring, more things that we could do.
Put them a little bit.
More things that we have: dresses, skirts, pants, tights, crop tops, jackets. We have everything. You can do so much with women, and it's more money over here versus like a guy's fashion is more simple. Yeah, simplicity. But yeah, the men's fashion is limited, and they don't really have like a diverse option. So I think that
like the way men dress.
Yeah. Okay. So I think men fashion designers just take their art. I think men fashion designers just take their art and put it in the women's fashion just to be like strategic. It's like a business thing.
Yeah, I think just like how the Stanley Cup went from selling to men to selling to women, and all of a sudden they're viral. Mm-hmm. I think women definitely shop more.
Yep.
Women like more versatility, more colors, more styles, more this, more that. So you think it's just a business play? Like men dominate the fashion industry not because they care what women wear, but because it's more money.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think
Okay.
They've just put their art in the women's world.
Right. And women, I think, take more risk as far as what they wear.
Yeah.
And you can take more risk with what you design when you're doing it for a woman. Mm-hmm. I just personally still prefer women. Like, I don't like male hairdressers, male nail techs, or male fashion designers. Not that I don't like them, but I prefer women. Yeah. Because women have hair.
Yeah.
Women have nails.
Yeah. I feel like every experience I've been in with a guy, hairstylist, fashion designer, they didn't really know how to relate to me, or like if I had a complaint or if I had a special request, they didn't get it. Mm-hmm. And they'll never get it because they're not us. They're not.
When I see men design, for example, like men in our industry who do custom dresses and stuff, they don't barely be covering the things that need to be covered for a woman. There are 3 important areas I feel like they might need to get familiar with.
Should we ask them to move?
I feel like there's 3. I think there are 3 important areas that the type of guy that is the fashion designer does not be familiar with. Mm-hmm. And I feel like they don't cover those areas. Mm-hmm. Like the mini skirts be a belt, or the bralette is a string. Mm-hmm. And I'm not sure if they are aware how big some of these girls' nipples are. I just think they. All right. Okay. She's recording the video.
Okay. Can you move down? Yeah.
Okay.
Is it soundproof? Clearly it's not.
This one, no. The other rooms, yes.
Okay.
When it has those things on the wall, those squares.
Okay. Yeah. I was like, isn't it usually soundproof?
And when they have the double doors. Any room that has double doors is in. But yeah, some designers, male designers, I feel like they don't cover the women's private parts. And I think that either they're doing it intentionally to make quote unquote sexy clothing, or they're doing it unintentionally because they're not aware where everything is or how much coverage we actually need. So,
I think that a lot of men fashion designers are talented.
100% talented, creative. I think women are creative too. I think women are safer. I think women take less risk with their fashion design than men do. Mm-hmm. And it's not because they're not as creative. They just have to work that creative muscle so it can get stronger. Mm-hmm. And I think they don't push themselves as hard because they don't feel safe to get customers or sales or whatever if they go outside of their comfort zone. And they need somewhere to live and they need to pay their bills and they probably have kids and feel all this pressure to create what's going to sell versus something that's different.
Right. I don't know what my opinion is on why guys are more successful in the fashion world than us. Mm-hmm. I think I probably got to experience the fashion world a little bit more. Yeah. It's just a question mark over my head for now. Like, why is it?
Yeah.
Is it because we're catty?
What do you mean?
Women are catty against each other. It's hard for women to support each other versus guys.
I think most women don't even know they're supporting men designers. Like, I think a lot of the fashion houses that we shop from, we don't even know that man designed this. Like Zara or a collection from
a lot of
this store, that store. A lot of women don't even know that these are male designers.
Yeah. A lot of times, designers don't even have their face on the brand. Mm-hmm. So.
But they are still mostly men. And there was this brand, I sent it to our Instagram, but it was so long ago, who knows if I'll ever find it again. But this guy, the brand that I followed, name was like Adeline. Mm-hmm. And then it said in the bio, the designer is this person. And it was like Jeffrey. Mm-hmm. So I felt like it was Jeffrey pretending to be a girl. Because his face is nowhere in the brand, nowhere. But it was very, I don't know, telling. That it was a gorgeous women's wear collection. But I'm like, wow, this is designed by this.
One popular brand, actually, that's a new popular brand. I don't think they had the intentions on people thinking that their brand is a girl. But they don't want their face on the brand, but they want to keep it so that people think that it's a girl.
But I
thought that was interesting.
Yeah, I think that's interesting. So they want to make money off of people thinking that it's a girl. That would make me not shop with them.
Really?
Because they
don't have to say their identity or something.
No, you don't have to say your identity, but the fact that you want people to assume that it's a girl and you even post things to make them think that it's this specific girl is, to me, like fishing for clients.
Being introverts.
No, I think you're fishing for clients that you don't think you would originally get if they knew you were you. Which is weird. It's like, to me, it's like Rachel Dolezal.
I didn't think that. Really?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Like, you got this tan, you got this curly hair wig on, you're trying to make people think and assume that you a black woman and you're really not. In order to get people to buy stuff from you, buy what you're selling. What she was selling was her work ethic and trying to work for the NAACP.
Oh, she was selling stuff. I just thought she was selling stuff.
She got the job as a black woman because she was a black woman, which she was not a black woman. And that brand wants to sell that they are a black woman as well.
No.
And I
didn't think that they was a girl.
You knew, because you know who they are. Girl.
But it don't give me that still. So I guess.
Right. And I think they probably don't know that either. Like, we can tell. Women don't promote things.
No, they be in the comments like, sis, when you grabbing?
Really? God bless them. All right, so there are a few reasons. I asked Chad. What did I ask Chad? Should I call him Chad?
Or no?
Chanting. I'm gonna have a nickname for Chad GPT. I think I'm gonna call him Chad. So I asked Chad, why most women's wear fashion designers are men. It said, one, historical norms, which is basically that fashion design has traditionally been dominated by men, dating back to the early couturiers like Charles Frederick in the 19th century. Then it said, two, social dynamics. In many societies, men have historically held more powerful positions and influence, including in industries like fashion. So the historical dynamic has carried over into modern times, meaning that men are still primarily the designers of these women's wear collections. Now, three is perception of creativity. So we mentioned this. There may be a perception that men are more innovative and creative in their designs, although this is changing more and more as women enter the field. Are we entering the field? Have we not been in the field? Have we not been fashion designers and seamstresses and tailors since the beginning of time? I feel like we have. But industry structures. The fashion industry, like many others, has its own set of structures and hierarchies that may favor men in leadership positions, influencing the visibility and success of male designers. So basically, bigger companies like to have a male in front so that they can boost them up and put him in a suit and put him in a boardroom and say, this is the guy we're backing. Versus if it was a girl, maybe the companies wouldn't back her.
Yeah, I don't think so.
But that was pretty much
everything Chad said. I agree with. But most importantly, the leadership.
Yeah,
the leadership one, because I think that everybody will listen to a man before they listen to a woman, and then like when you're a woman boss or a woman like in the limelight, it's always about like, I don't know, people rip you apart more than they rip a man apart.
Yeah. Like when Hillary ran for president.
Yeah.
It was always, oh, what is she wearing? What is in her? They did an interview, what is in your purse?
Yeah.
Does anybody ask what is in Trump's briefcase? It was nothing. Probably a bag of chips.
Yeah.
Like, why did y'all ask what was in that woman's purse?
What are you wearing? How's your hair?
How are you going to deal with...
Who are you dating?
Well, they know who she dated.
Kids. And
Bill.
Billy. But it's not about kids, marriage, take care of the household, and
how are you going to manage being a grandmother and being president? Yeah. Like, what? All these guys be daddies and grandfathers and they be president? Yeah. How are you going to deal with
we're not meant to be
tough
bosses.
Situations, and then your period comes on? What are you going to do?
We're not meant to be bosses. We are meant to be bosses, but we're not looked at as bosses. We got to take care of the house and the kids and grocery shop, fruits, vegetables, cook.
Ugh. But the times have changed. It's 2024. Yeah. I mean, so I don't think coming over to take over. But that reminds me of what Chad said about pockets. It said that the lack of pockets in women's clothing has historical roots, and past women's clothing was often designed with less practicality in mind compared to women's clothing, reflecting societal expectations. Now it says pockets were considered unnecessary, even undesirable, because they disrupted the lines of a woman's silhouette, like I mentioned earlier. Additionally, there was a belief that women could carry personal items in their purses or handbags, which became a fashion accessory in their own right. This notion persisted over time, contributing to the absence of pockets. It says attitudes are gradually changing and shifting, and there's an increasing demand for more functional and practicality in women's clothing. But this one line made me think. It says, additionally, there was a belief that women could carry personal items in purses or handbags, which became a fashion accessory. Now, I'm wondering, since men are designers, they design purses. If they don't put pockets in women's clothing, then women will be forced to buy purses. And they don't want to always wear the same purse, so they'll buy more purse options. So let's not put pockets in their clothing. That way they're forced to buy a matching bag with this dress. Yes,
we are very much forced to buy a matching bag, especially in 2021.
I think I figured it out. The mystery is solved about pockets.
So you're going to wear pants with pockets?
Am I going to what?
Wear pants with pockets more?
The pants I'm wearing now don't have pockets. And a lot of the pants that I bought lately didn't have pockets. But I always wear something that has a pocket. Like a jacket or I don't know. Something. But I have not, I don't know if you noticed, but I haven't been wearing purses in like the past 2 years.
Oh, I've noticed.
Like I do not have time. I've lost my wallet twice. And then I just stopped wearing purses because I'm just like, this is in the way. It's too much. If I need to carry a bag of something, I'll just get a random plastic bag. Because then when I go to the next destination, I don't need it anymore. But I'm not going to carry a bag. Because if I lose the bag, I'm going to be annoyed for the rest of the year. So only when I go out for an event will I carry a purse. Yeah. And even then, it will only be a lip gloss in it. Like, I won't even put anything in the purse. So everything is on my keys. Everything I need is on my keys.
Yeah, I need to invest in like a small... I looked up a few small wallets, but that's what I need. I don't need a bag right now.
I just don't need it. It's doing too much.
Remember we was talking about politics and how politic men dress and how politic women dress? You reminded me of that when you brought up Hillary Clinton.
Yeah, because everybody cared so much about what she was wearing or what color she was wearing. Did she look Did she look pleasing in the shade of blue? Did she look pleasing? I don't know, that red was too dark. It made her appear angry. Mm-hmm. Like, okay, Donald Trump is wearing the same navy blue suit in every single interview in the history of time, and no one has ever asked if that navy blue was his color or not.
Maybe it's just hard for people to receive the information or receive, like, when a woman is speaking or a woman is trying to teach, because they're too focused on her beauty, her size, what she's wearing, her hair.
So that sounds like a personal problem to me. If you get distracted so easily, then what are you even here for? Mm-hmm. You shouldn't hold a position of power if you get that distracted. Mm-hmm. So I really wish Hillary was president. Like, I wish she had one, and then we would have a whole different world today. Hillary, if you see this, if you can hear this, Hillary, please come back to us. I know they did you wrong, but we will do you right this time. I promise, Hillary, please come back to us. We miss you.
Oh my goodness!
Let us do it one more time, Hillary. I just think we would be better off. You know, people not feeling Joe Biden.
Oh, of course not.
They're not feeling Joe Biden, but we can't have Donald Trump. We can't. So we're going to have to vote for Joe Biden again. And I don't mind Joe Biden. I love Joe Biden. But if Hillary could just pop up the day before an election and say, hey, I'm a candidate. Don't do me like you did last time. then I think everybody will vote for her.
There's never been a woman president.
Yeah, there's never been a woman president. No. But she was secretary when Barack was president. Mm-hmm. So what does that make her? I think Secretary of State is like third in line. Like, if they both died in a plane crash, then she would have been president. Mm-hmm. But Hillary.
But that says a lot. Like, about the leadership thing. And that's probably why men run the fashion world.
But they've been leading us into not having no pockets.
Exactly.
Because they think that's going to make us buy more purses, which maybe has worked.
So I'm ready for female domination.
Yeah.
It was a entrepreneur. He was in the podcast and he was talking about, if you have money, you need to invest in the women's business, the beauty world. Mm-hmm. Like he's like the new thing is bosses, women bosses. This was like years ago though, and he was on to something. So I can see the women bosses taking over.
I remember this guy.
Women leadership.
He might have been like 21, 22. He was talking about how his first $1 million month as an e-commerce store owner, and he said that the store was selling the stick-on boobs bras. Mm-hmm. And the backless stick-on bras, and he said that was his first $1 million month company. And since then, now he has website. He doesn't reveal like the names of his websites or brands, but now he has lash brands, press-on nail brands, women's wear. Everything is in the women's field because he knows that women make more purchases, buy more, and want to look good.
Everything we do. Everything that has to do with what we look like.
Mm-hmm. But I do think this is a push for creativity. So, are you ready for my takeaway? Mm-hmm. My takeaway from this episode is women do need to be more creative and risky in their fashion design. Yeah. I think they need to, as designers, they need to really step it up and really like push these men off a cliff, you know? Mm-hmm. Like, really go crazy. Like, even the young boys that I see on the internet making pants out of tiny recycled condom wrappers, or like, just an example.
Oh my god.
Or like little buttons from soda tops or whatever. Like, they're thinking so much more creatively than women are, and pushing the limit to more risk. And maybe that's why in fashion in general and art in general, men are leading because they push boundaries more. They're not afraid of what people think of them. And I think more women are afraid of what people think of them.
For sure.
Yeah.
And I think we copy off of each other. Women. Like we be like, oh, what's she doing? Or like if we see guys idolizing like another female, we're like, okay, cool. Now I gotta wear this or I gotta look like this.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, and we just it's not really it girls anymore. It's rare.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's everybody just copy off of one it girl and do the same thing.
Yeah,
and it's like that with the fashion world too.
Yeah. Okay.
Like it's not. I don't know.
No, I see what you're saying. I was just gonna say, count your blessings.
And then we all like even down to how like our hair, like we all get the same hairstyles. Over and over again. We all look the same.
Look the same. How many girls I passed with these boho braids?
It'd be rare when like a girl stand out, but as soon as the girl stand out, then everybody do her. So it's like versus guys, I think they just do it for the money, and it's like a business thing with the guy.
Yeah, for sure.
So another guy copying off of another guy's look is it's like money thing
for sure. Count your blessings
before you count the money in your pockets.
Peace out. Bye.